I went to record this video this morning, and as I started reviewing my notes, reviewing the concept that just last night I was so excited about and felt so aligned and right, a million judgments came to mind. I was getting ready to record this video, and suddenly, right before I was about to start, I thought of a million reasons why it wasn't the right time, why I wasn't ready, and why I needed to procrastinate and leave it for later. And then, as I sat with that a little bit longer, I realized that that's the exact reason I thought that this was an important topic to discuss in the first place. Because I don't know about you, but for me, I am really good at going with the flow and coming up with ideas and concepts until I start to care. So when it's in the ideation stage, when I'm brainstorming, when I'm excited, when I feel good, it feels amazing. As soon as I attach an outcome to it, as soon as it becomes a goal or I need a specific result, or even simply it comes time to act and make my actions align with my words, suddenly I freeze. And suddenly I want to control it and it needs to be perfect. And I need to say all of the right things. And that, my friends, is the loop. Hi, I'm Sonia, and I am actively learning to move and act before I'm ready and to stay even when it gets a little bit uncomfortable. And if you're on that journey too, welcome. Hopefully, there's something here that resonates for you. For a few years, I've been thinking about the concept of surrender and flow. And as someone that always found comfort and regulation in planning, in knowing the next steps, in having a goal and reaching that goal, it was a very difficult concept to come to understand and to actively live. And I find it comes up in everyday examples all the time. So if you want to start a new habit, wake up earlier, start exercising, eat healthier. If you're starting to get into a relationship and you're dating and everything feels good until it doesn't, or even if you're looking for a new promotion or for a job change. Sometimes when you're feeling really good and when you're talking about it and you're just in that moment, it's the best idea ever. You know exactly what you need to do, and it feels really great until you start to have to act. And I think that's the turning point. When you actually have to put those actions behind those words and move forward, suddenly very logical, very valid, very grounded reasons start to come up as to why it's not the right time. And it could just be, you know what, I'm not actually ready. I'm really tired. I don't have the capacity. There are a million other priorities that I need to take care of first. Or even, you know what, it's not actually that bad. I was having a bad day. I was feeling fired up. It doesn't actually bother me. It's okay. And there's a million other ways that it can show up. And that's the exact moment where, when I say in my intro, learning to stay in the discomfort a little bit longer becomes important. The most recent example I have of this is I recently started a program. I'm part of a team, and being a part of that team involves outreach and asking people for support. And that's always been something that's been very uncomfortable for me, even in my personal life. Haven't always been great at asking for help or letting others know that I need something. And I fought this concept personally in my own head for a while. I was like, this isn't the right time. I don't have capacity for this. Maybe I shouldn't be involved. And I sat with that feeling a little bit longer. And I realized what's really happening is I'm scared and I'm uncomfortable and I don't really know what to do. And I took that as an opportunity to stay a little bit longer with that discomfort and come up with the next step of what I can do to move myself forward and to actually collect data or like valid experience that tells me that this is actually not right for me, or that lets me know if I'm just scared and uncomfortable and learning something new. And they can feel very familiar. And my small step was just creating a list. Who's a list of people that I can reach out to? starting really small and comfortable with friends, family, and then expanding that beyond my network. And what I found is I did not get immediate results. If you're wondering, I experienced a lot of rejection, a lot of no's, a lot of no responses at all. But it made me continue thinking of who else can I reach out to? And I also realized I can survive. It's okay if somebody says no to me. That was probably the biggest thing. And what felt so big and so scary suddenly wasn't so scary anymore. I was like, okay, I asked. They didn't respond. They said no. Let's move on. Who can I ask next? And because I stayed with it and because I kept moving forward, more ideas started coming to me. I started brainstorming about bigger asks or maybe new avenues I didn't think of before. And that's how I started building that muscle and I started staying in flow. And it's funny because the other day, after I sent outreach and I came up with a bigger strategy of how I'm going to, move this objective forward and be like a strong team player, it's like, wow, I think some people actually live like this. I think some people have an idea, take a small step, try, either fail or get a good result and just move on. And that was such a new concept for me. And I think that's what flow and surrender really is. It's not leaving it up to the universe or not worrying about not having a goal or a vision. You can have a goal, you can have a vision, you can have something that you're trying to achieve, but you're not so tightly gripped and in control of how that comes to you or what the outcome is or what it means if something else happens and you don't reach your goal, that you can continue to move forward and maybe expand your possibility or your mindset on like what's actually possible or what you really want. Because the truth is, until you actually try something and move forward, you don't really know if it's right for you. You don't really know if you can do it. Another tiny example where this came up is even, I wanted to start eating a little bit healthier, maybe a little bit lighter, exercising a bit more for the summer season. And again, I found every excuse as to why I couldn't do that right now. I'm too tired. I don't have time. It's easier to eat out. And again, as I sat with that a little longer, I'm like, oh, you're just a little bit uncomfortable. You're not staying long enough with this. Maybe there's part of you that is just needing to build up a bit more capacity. So, how can we start smaller? And if you find yourself in a similar season, whether it's like just trying to make a healthier food choice or deciding you want to go for your dream of writing a book or starting a podcast or starting a business, whatever it is, tiny or small, I think my advice would be first and foremost, if you had a goal and if you had an idea and you were genuinely excited about it and it felt so right and you were telling people or you kept thinking about it, and suddenly when you go to move, you start to question if it's right and the excuses start to come up as to why maybe it's not the right time. I want you to sit with that a little bit longer than is comfortable and just really ask yourself, is it really wrong? Is it really not the right time? Or am I just scared? Or am I maybe just a little bit uncomfortable? And if you realize it is discomfort and it is fear, first and foremost, give yourself some grace. Everybody experiences it, whether they talk about it or not. But then think of the tiniest step that you can take forward that moves you towards that goal and do that tiny step. And then from there, you'll see it's not that scary. It's not that hard. And naturally, the next step will come to you. And it might be a little bit slower. It might be a little bit different. But I promise you, if you're able to pause, understand if it's a fear or a discomfort, and sit with it, and then take one tiny action to move yourself forward, realize it's not that scary or realize that it worked, or more importantly, solidify that trust in yourself that my words and my actions align, you'll keep taking bigger reps and making bigger moves and it'll feel more and more comfortable. And you'll start to train that muscle of trust, of action, and of your words and actions aligning. And I think that's when things start to change. But also, if this is you, I'm actively living this journey. I'm actively sharing my experiences and the patterns I'm recognizing and breaking. If that resonates, stay tuned. Would love to go on this journey together, and I will see you in the next video.